Are you buying a house in Las Vegas and curious about the property taxes here? Today I'm going to go over all of the nuances associated with property taxes in Clark County. Hey everyone, Kristen with the Thomas Group and Real Broker, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors. Today I'm going to explain one of the biggest questions that we get asked by our clients, and that is, what are the property taxes in Clark County? It's something that there are a lot of nuances to that you can't just explain in one simple sentence, so we're gonna dig into that. And it makes the property taxes here so much more favorable than maybe where you're coming from or where you might be looking as well. Really quick before we get into it, if you are looking at buying or selling in Henderson or Las Vegas, myself and my team would absolutely love to help. We offer free consultations, no pressure. You can find all of our information at thethomasgrouplv.com. Everything's on the screen, and I'm extension 2 for Kristen. So what are property taxes in Clark County? Well, let me give you the short answer, and that's about 1% of the value of the home. But that really only applies to new construction. If you are looking at resales, it runs a huge gamut for reasons that we are going to get into. Now, first of all, let's talk about how those property taxes are calculated and why you can't just look at a house and then multiply it by a certain number and figure out what the property taxes are. You have to go on the Clark County assessor's website and look up the property there to see the actual amount of property taxes. So, how it's calculated. The assessor looks at each individual property once a year and takes into account a number of different factors to determine what is called the assessed value of the home. Now, the age of the house has a big factor into this. What's going on in the real estate market has a big factor. I brought the most recent bill for our house just to give you an idea what this looks like and why things can vary so wildly. You can see up here, the assessor has determined that the assessed value is $180,000. Once the assessor has determined that assessed amount, they use what's called a multiplier to determine what your actual costs are going to be. And that multiplier can vary depending on where in Clark County you live. Now, as an example, in Henderson, the multiplier is lower than in parts of Las Vegas. So your property taxes here are slightly lower in Henderson than in different parts of Las Vegas. Now, it's not going to make a huge difference in your bottom line, but hey, sometimes every little bit helps. Now, here's where things get really interesting, and that is with tax caps. This is really where Nevada stands apart from other states. So on your primary residence, and this is one home that is your primary residence, you have a 3% annual tax cap. If it's an investment property or a second home, you have an 8% annual tax cap. What's really cool, and where you'll really see the wildly different tax amounts for very similar homes, is that the tax cap stays with the property when you purchase it. So I know in California, if you buy a home, the house is reassessed when you buy that home. Here, if the home is 15 years old and it was the previous owner's primary residence for those 15 years, they've had that 3% tax cap, you inherit the 3% tax cap moving forward if that is your primary residence. So you can really see how the same property, say maybe it was an investment property and it was subject to an 8% tax cap, versus a home that's been at that 3% tax cap, how that can really vary wildly. As an example, the house that I own, the previous owners, it was their primary residence, it's our primary residence. Our annual taxes are about $4,000. If we bought a new construction home that is a similar house, our annual taxes would be $9,500. I mean, that really makes a big difference, and it's something for you to keep in mind as you're comparing different homes. And that's also why you'll see those tax amounts vary so widely between house to house. There's one other tax for you to be aware of when you are purchasing a house here in Clark County, and that is the real property transfer tax, which is paid, it's basically like a sales tax. It's paid at closing. Traditionally, here in Clark County, the seller pays that tax, but in real estate, everything's negotiable. And also to know if you are buying new construction, more than likely the builder is going to make you pay that. And that's kind of why they give you those closing cost incentives. It helps even all of that out. I hope you have a little bit more clarity on how the property taxes work here in Clark County. There are such great benefits to having that inheritable 3% tax rate. And I mean, even without that, if you're buying new construction, 1% of the sales price is pretty low. If you are looking to move to Las Vegas or Henderson, myself and my team would love to help. We provide free consultations. You can find all of our information on our website, thethomasgrouplv.com. And my name is Kristen. I'm extension 2 on the number on the screen. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.